This April, Kingdom Hearts celebrated its 20th anniversary with a special live stream, presumably in a bid to make anyone who played the original game as a child feel like a skeleton. At this celebration, some new games were announced, including mobile games Union X Dark Road and Missing Link, which sees your character throwing a little Mickey Mouse amiibo at some Heartless. Oh, so that's where they put all the unsold Disney Infinity toys. But most importantly, Kingdom Hearts 4 has been announced, and some gameplay showed off Sora fighting a big old Heartless in the middle of a very modern-looking world called Quadratum, filled with non-anime-looking folks wondering why everything was, well, going all anime. But hang on, I'm here for all the Disney stuff. Where is it? I hear you cry, but don't worry. Disney is still asserting copyright over this fever dream, and Donald and Goofy are still around at the end of the trailer, we think being harassed by Hades from Hercules.
Oi.
So, in anticipation of more Disney fun, here's our dream list of currently untouched Disney worlds we'd love to see in Kingdom Hearts 4. Hope you're all Black Cauldron fans, so that we can disappoint you because it's absolutely not in this list.
With Disney buying up nearly every nerdy franchise going, there are a lot of things that weren't Disney that suddenly are Disney. But they still don't have Sailor Moon. That's just for me. But they do have Star Wars. Leia is a Disney princess now, I guess? And Vader a Disney villain? And I mean, the dark side, the darkness. There's some real synergy between this great space opera and the Kingdom Hearts series. And for anyone who isn't excited at the prospect of the Skywalkers joining Sora, Donald and Goofy, I have two words for you. Lightsaber Keyblade. Yep, Kingdom Hearts creator Tetsuya Nomura can make the plot as ridiculous as he likes, so long as we get to thwom 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 with a glowy key-shaped death stick. But this is not just wishful thinking, this is wishful looking closely at the trailer, as eagle-eyed Star Wars fans noticed a metal shape in the forest.
Over at Eurogamer, they showed a side-by-side comparison of the shape in this frame of the trailer with the foot of the famous AT-ST, the great biped battlebots built by the Empire.
So, could Sora be visiting the forests of Endor? Could Ewoks make a showing in Kingdom Hearts 4? Will they go for a Clone Wars animation style or weird photorealism? What in fresh hell will Donald and Goofy have to disguise themselves as to fit in like they did with Monsters, Inc? Our money is on R2-D2 and C-3PO. Oh gosh!
If there's one thing Kingdom Hearts 3 really overestimated, it was people's continued love for the Pirates of the Caribbean series. While Pirates was perfectly timed for the second game, the massive 13-year development of the third game meant that every Kingdom Hearts 3 player in 2019 had to remember what the hell happened in the third movie back in 2007.
I'm lost. What's going on?
Was something to do with a pearl? No, that's the ship. They went over a waterfall? Someone's dad show up? I don't know. However, what we did enjoy in the Pirates world of Kingdom Hearts 3 were the battles at sea and adventuring from island to island in a big boat. And what better Disney film to pick up the mantle than ocean-based adventure Moana? Like that idea? Well, what can I say except, you're welcome. Moana's traditional Polynesian canoe might not be a pirate ship with a bunch of cannons, but what it does have is Moana and her connection to the ocean. Imagine these ship battles, but instead you're kindly asking the ocean to help you wash away Heartless. And there's so much fundamental Kingdom Hearts potential. We want a Keyblade with Maui's magical hook on the end. We want an extra shiny boss fight against Tamatoa. We want Hei to annoy Donald Duck somehow. There's so much classic Disney magic to play with, and Maui and Moana would be brilliant additions to the team. Also, we'd absolutely love to see what Kingdom Hearts composers Yoko Shimomura and Tsuyoshi Sekito could do with Lin-Manuel's gorgeous music. Wait, I remember one. Bill Nye got his wish and his squid face went away.
That didn't happen.
Really? What the fuck am I thinking of?
If there's one thing we're crying out for in Kingdom Hearts, it's more redheads.
What about a plot we can follow?
More redheads! One recent redhead is the adorable May from Pixar's Turning Red. But as much as we love Canada, 2002 Toronto isn't exactly, well, magical or quirky enough for a Kingdom Hearts setting. I mean, Tim Hortons is pretty magical, but I'm not sure Square Enix would get the license. Instead, we'd love May to turn up as an adorable red panda summon, much like Wreck-It Ralph in Kingdom Hearts 3. But there's another red-headed Pixar heroine who could easily have her own full adventure with Sora and the gang. We're of course talking about Merida from Brave, archer extraordinaire who turned her mum into a bear. Oh, that rhymed. Very Disney. With a story more akin to a traditional fairy tale, Brave often gets overlooked compared to its Pixar siblings, partly thanks to its tumultuous production, making it a tiny bit messier than its counterparts. But before I go into a rant about how underappreciated this film is, for our money, Merida's mystical wisp-filled version of medieval Scotland would be a brilliant setting for a Disney Kingdom Hearts world. Just imagine Merida and her mother, Queen Eleanor, in bear form, on your team fighting off Heartless with bows and bear claws. Plus, the wisps would make a brilliant trail towards your next objective. Also, I 100% want a salmon catching minigame where you try and spear them by throwing Donald at them beak first. What? He said this might be a good spot to find some ingredients.
Kingdom Hearts is known for its fun underwater adventures, partly because they're fun underwater adventures, and partly because they make Donald look like this. Ah! Get it away from me! Yes, in the world of Atlantica in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, when hanging out with Mermaid Ariel, Sora turned into a merman, Goofy turned into a turtle, and Donald turned into an eldritch horror which still haunts my waking dreams. Oh, stop showing it! In other words, The Little Mermaid has been done, but consider the gorgeous underwater world of the Great Barrier Reef as seen in the Pixar classic Finding Nemo, which remains untouched, unlike the real Great Barrier Reef. We'd love to see our three faves swimming about in these gorgeous waters and meeting all our favourite characters, like Ray the schoolteacher. Wait, a school of fish! I just got that. Imagine a cute coral keyblade, a level where you swim away from Bruce the shark, and fighting Heartless through a sea of poisonous jellyfish. You could even have a minigame that sees you collecting points as you ride along the EAC, aka the East Australia Current, much like the shield sledding minigame in Kingdom Hearts 3's Arendelle. Turtle Goofy would be perfect for this.
Here we go! And we're off!
But again, no Donald Cthulhu. Unless you moved his beak down to where it would actually be on an octopus, all up in the tentacles. Oh no, wait, that's much worse. Don't listen, Nomura!
Think of Disney mice and your first thought will of course be of Bianca and Bernard from The Rescuers. The Rescuers? The 1977 film? Based on a series of books? Followed in 1990 by the cult classic The Rescuers Down Under? Oh, you Philistines. Okay, while the Rescue Aid Society means everything to me, there are admittedly more famous Disney mice. Mickey and Minnie spring to mind, or Jacques and Gus and their mousy pals in Cinderella. Adorable. But our favourite mice of all are to be found on Baker Street, Basil the Great Mouse Detective and his Dr. Pal, Dr. David Q. Dawson. The Great Mouse Detective, as it's known in North America, is a brilliant little romp set in Victorian London, with a tiny mouse world living in parallel with the human one, complete with a tiny mouse Queen Victoria. Eek! Basically, it's Arthur Conan Doyle meets Sylvanian families, aka entirely my shit. Not only is tiny Victorian Mouse London a place I want to explore in general, but there's also plenty of moments from the film that would be awesome to play in some form. They ride a cute bloodhound called Toby, run around a creepy Victorian toy shop, and there's an outstanding sequence where Basil and Big Bad Ratigan have a fight within the cogs of the Queen Elizabeth Tower. That's the famous clock tower often wrongly referred to as Big Ben, but that's actually the name of the bell instead.
Stop, no. You're worse than the Frankenstein crowd.
As an older film, many of the cast members are sadly no longer with us, such as the voice of Ratigan, Vincent Price. Yes, the Vincent Price, and he's outstanding in this film, pulling off 2 flawless musical numbers like it's absolutely nothing. Square Enix could do some clever work with lines from the film, or Kingdom Hearts hasn't shied away from alternate voices in the past, when Hollywood actors have gone, a video game? No thank you. But it would take quite some impressionist to pull off a good tribute to the world's greatest criminal mind. Also, Alan Young, the previous voice of Scrooge McDuck, voiced toy maker Mr. Flavisham, so this could be a marvellous opportunity to pull in none other than new voice of Scrooge McDuck, David Tennant. Doctor Who in a Kingdom Hearts game? Let's make it happen, Square Enix! Also, while Basil the Great Mouse Detective did get a video game, it was released in 1987 for the ZX Spectrum, so it would be nice if Basil got a bit of love in a game that wasn't, you know, rubbish. Also, that game ends on a cliffhanger right before the Big Ben fight, and I know what you're thinking. but the fight actually does take place within the clock tower. So what I was saying was technically accurate. No, don't stop me. Don't stop me.
Turn it off. Fans of Kingdom Hearts apparently find these games very sad, even though they look all silly and have a Goofy in them. Disney-owned film studio Pixar is also good at making tears pour out of people's faces, and one film of theirs that quite possibly succeeded at squeezing the most from us was Coco. I mean, look what it did to Ellen after she saw it. Grim. Following the story of music-loving Miguel, Coco is centered around the Mexican holiday Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Pixar's excellent and heartfelt depiction of the Land of the Dead would be a gorgeous and colourful setting for a Kingdom Hearts adventure. Just imagine our heroes learning about the holiday and disguising themselves to fit in, just like Miguel has to. I mean, Goofy basically already looks like Miguel's spirit guide Dante the dog. He'll fit right in. Sora and the gang could easily help Miguel and Hector as they run around, perhaps aiding in a performance or two of musical numbers, much like the Little Mermaid minigames in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Swim, we'll dance and we'll play. Now it's very easy, come on and just take a chance and shake a fan. Swim along, just join in the song. A musical for everyone to have a lot of finny fun.
Okay, but with much less cheesy songs. Imagine Remember Me, but Kingdom Heartsified. Yeah, that'll get the old eyes leaking. That's not to say some fun fighting couldn't happen in the Land of the Dead either, with Miguel, Hector and Sora teaming up for some guitar-themed super moves. And imagine the Keyblade! Something beautiful incorporating bones, flowers and guitar strings. That would definitely be one we'd add to our collection. Oh, and spoilers for the end of Coco, but just imagine a boss fight against Ernesto de la Cruz. An epic battle of the bands against a guitar-wielding foe, corrupted by darkness, sending waves of Heartless after you with every pluck of a string. Heck yeah, I'd play that! Be better than the bloody Ursula fight in Kingdom Hearts 1. What is it with Disney and tentacles?
It took 13 years for Kingdom Hearts 3 to appear after it was first teased. And it's been 13 years since Disney's last hand-drawn animated adventure, Princess and the Frog. Well, actually, it's 12 years and 6 months, so not quite, but we're almost there. We'd make some joke about Destiny Islands or something, but in truth, we just want this film in Kingdom Hearts because we're suckers for Disney's version of New Orleans, complete with delicious beignets and huge pots of gumbo. Well, yes, it is nearly lunchtime here. Why do you ask? Sadly, we can't actually eat the on-screen food, but there is a lot of opportunity for Kingdom Hearts weirdness in this more traditional princess-themed Disney tale. For example, Tiana gets turned into a frog, and I for one would love to explore the bayou as some cute little Louisiana critter, along the lines of the Pride Lands in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Hey, check us out.
You could smash the heck out of some Heartless in the swamps before jumping into a cooking minigame a la Remy in Kingdom Hearts 3. Best of all would be the addition of a fantastic classic Disney villain to Kingdom Hearts lore, Dr. Facilier. From back when Disney films had villains rather than everyone should have just talked to their family a bit more or whatever. Dr. Facilier's Witch Doctor deals with dark forces could easily be transferred into deals with the Kingdom Hearts version of Darkness with a capital D. The Heartless could be his friends on the other side, and also we just want him in there because he's a favourite of mine after I met him at Disneyland and forgot how to do the mouth sounds, say words. Also, he's a lovable villain, and fans of Kingdom Hearts 1 want that super Disney villain aesthetic back in our game about Disney films. Remember when they used to stand around that table making evil plans about Disney princesses? Because Kingdom Hearts doesn't. It's been so long.
And the brats friends are the king's lackeys. Slug on the eyes, they're all bilge rats by the look of them.
So, those are some of the Disney worlds we want included in Kingdom Hearts 4. Do you have any other suggestions? Let us know in the comments if so. Ellen has insisted I read out this list of honourable mentions. Number 1, Inside Out.
Because it'd be funny if they had to go inside Donald Duck, but we didn't add it to the list because I remembered
Yes.
Bing Bong and got sad.
Number 2, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
That's just because you fancy the Foxman.
Yes, because everyone fancies.
Of course everyone fancies the Foxman, Ellen. It's not a reason to put it in the game necessarily. Look, if you enjoyed this, then please like and subscribe. There are some other videos on screen now. And why not check out our Patreon as well. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.